So now that everyone has taken the time to vote, we're going to be going into about an hour and 30 minutes of a discussion. So again, if your timekeeper could please set the timer for 90 minutes and try to set a couple of reminders when we're approaching the last 30 minutes of the session, and maybe again when we're down to the last 10. So after that voting session, using our Travel Bucket product design sprint as an example, your sketches should look something like this. As you go through them, you will see that there are some things that people have picked out and that they've liked. Again, those could be a particular word, they could be a function, they could be a particular design, they could be anything. But we're kind of starting to see a little bit of a heat map created. Again, with the sketching styles, it really doesn't matter kind of what you're into. This person might have been relatively neat and kind of put a bit of work into their sketches and just wrote a couple of notes at the bottom, so we can see that people like these kind of things. Maybe they like the big call to action here. We'll hear from them in a short bit. There's obviously someone who's questioning the call to action at the bottom potentially. A lot of attention for this, that they've visited or want to visit, so that functionality, and some likes expressed for that down here as well. And then a share functionality. And here people were just picked out a specific word, so they were looking at the word visual. So that is obviously something that resonates with people and that they like and that they want to keep, I guess, going forward. Another set of sketches here. This person didn't leave any notes, which is fine as well. They went purely visual. So you can see again some of the things they like. So maybe this create button seems to have got a few likes. This one has got something they want to hear more about. Again, a big photo, so maybe that's kind of touching on the visual thing that we saw in the previous sketch. And a detailed section here was liked as well, so to tell people why you liked that thing. And this person might not have been a Picasso, but that's fine. That's the purpose of product design sprint. You don't have to be an expert artist to participate. So these are very rough sketches with kind of more detailed notes, I guess, down the side. People here want to figure out a little bit more about the button should be really obvious so people know exactly what to do. So maybe that's something we can discuss. In this second sketch, there's a lot of interest in, say, the tags and this idea of searchability. So you can see that word has kind of been liked a couple of times. And so has this concept of having 2 tiers of tags. So this person has said that the first tier would be kind of restaurant activity or accommodation, and the second tier is kind of more specific things. So that might be something that people want to look at. And again, same thing here, deep link seems to be something that some people would like. And there's maybe a little bit of a question around that as well. So that's kind of what your board should be looking like. You should have lots of dots on there. And then what we're going to do next is just go around. We'll give each person 5 minutes to discuss each of their sketches. So again, in our hypothetical example here, we only have 1 step, but in a full sprint, you might have some of these boards populated as well, depending on how many people are participating and how many steps you wanted to cover in the sketching exercise. But you would normally have at least another 3 sketches here and at least another 3 sketches there for the following 2 steps. And so we would turn the tables over to, let's say, if Chad drew this sketch, and now it's going to be Chad's opportunity to talk through what he drew here, why he drew it, his thoughts behind it, and he can give us kind of an overview of what's involved in that. Again, if the timekeeper could please keep an eye on this and maybe set the timer for 5 minutes for each person, just so that everyone gets a chance to talk about their sketches, and people can weigh in on why they liked something or what they thought of it. So Chad will explain his sketch first, and then people that voted can explain why they voted in a certain way. As the facilitator, and once this kind of conversation is happening, or once this discussion is happening, try to leave a couple of sticky notes around the sketches, so as to what people liked. So in this case, it might have been, let's say people really like the visited or want to visit. So visit / want to visit. It's a really nice idea. Let's just say something like that. So just so that we know, okay, exactly what was discussed here. They can be fairly rough, but you can kind of copy and put a couple of stickies beside the sketches here, just so that we know what was discussed and what stood out for people. So in total, this discussion phase should take around 90 minutes. If it takes less time, that's not a problem at all, but just do try to keep it to kind of between 3 and 5 minutes for each person, so everyone has a chance to explain their sketches and to weigh in on each idea. So set your timer for 90 minutes and try to keep track every 5 minutes to make sure it's moving along. As the facilitator, you have the power to to move things along if you feel like you're spending too long on one particular sketch. So when you're ready, begin your discussion, and when that's complete, we'll see you in the next video.